for organizing and hosted this celebratory event. Students also viewed the Fall Thunder Center video featuring highlights from the fall sports seasons, Flex Pass, a band of faculty members, and another group of staff and students performing a dance routine.
The NBHS field hockey program continued its successful season by qualifying for the Shoreline and CIAC state tournament. National Hall of Fame head coach Noon and the team successfully advanced to the CIAC state semifinal game after winning another Shoreline title. Several team members received Shoreline and state recognition, making all conference and all state teams. The NBHS volleyball program continued qualifying for the Shoreline postseason tournament this year and the CIAC state tournament with first round wins in both. Coach Ramada was notified at the end of the season that several team members were recognized by the Shoreline Conference. Throughout Connecticut, high school winter sports started the week of November 25th. For NBHS, this includes girls and boys basketball, ice hockey, co-op boys swimming, indoor track, fencing, and cheerleading, which are under the CIAC umbrella of student activities. The newly opened NBHS Gymnasium will be the site of all home contests for basketball programs and fencing.
On Saturday, December 7th, members of the NBHS Jazz Ensemble and Chamber Choir performed at the annual Santa's Breakfast event held at NBIS. Mrs. Bertay and Ms. Pardue of the NBHS Music Department were also present and participated in the festive event. Similarly, the winter concert took place on December 18th in the North Branford Auditorium. Instrumental and vocal groups performed, and music educators Mrs. Bertay and Ms. Pardue led each group. Families, graduates, and current students were on hand to enjoy the performance. Secular and holiday music were included in this public performance. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope you have a nice holiday.
You too.
You too.
Get a nice long break this year.
Wednesday, yeah.
Enjoy.
Well, tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Starts tomorrow. Ends on a Wednesday.
Before they go, I just want to say, I was at the concert on Wednesday, and I know Leah did a effort on Sunday.
Very
But it was
nice.
a great concert.
It was a great concert. Great
The
job.
kids are so talented, very talented. And I also
Well, would you like to take a bow? Do it again. Fantastic.
In a sea of black, I love the teachers, the red shoes, the blue shoes.
Class act.
But it's nice job.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Dismissed. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thanks. Enjoy your break. Okay, so moving on, I'd like to make a motion to add an agenda item, Totucket Road Contemporary Fitness Center, under the superintendent's report for discussion during the Thursday, December 19th, 2024 regular Board of Education meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? It carries unanimously. We'll add that to our agenda.
Okay. Then I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda of the Thursday, December 19th, 2024 Board of Education meeting as submitted.
I'll second. Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just in the section under donations, I saw that we have donation letters from all but two, and unless I'm missing them. I'm assuming that we're approving those gifts by approving the consent agenda. So I just wanted to ask about not having the letter from East River Energy and Barrett Incorporated. Are we actually approving the gifts with the consent agenda? Or is this just for our knowledge?
We can pull the two. You're saying there's two that you haven't
I
seen
personally haven't
before.
seen them. I
So
looked
we can
again
make a
tonight.
separate motion to approve those two.
I just want to make sure that we
Yeah.
have it all
Yeah.
in order.
And we can actually do it next month because we're not doing anything for a few months anyway, so we can do that. It doesn't have to be tonight.
Okay, so we're going to take that off the consent.
It's going to be Barrett.
Donations removed, is that what you're saying, or just the two?
The whole, you want us to remove all the donations or just the two?
Well, you can do the
You
two
wanted,
tonight, or you can wait until next month, put them on. There's only, because we've already done the other
there's like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
And these were added to it. So we can pull those two separate and do them at the next meeting.
Sure.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, just put them on.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, we'll do
Table
those,
those two to
we'll
put
do
back
those
on.
in
All right, so it
January.
was East River Energy, what was the
Big number.
second?
Barrett
Barrett.
Barrett, okay.
To add to the January
Yeah, that's
separate, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
So as amended?
that's amended.
Second that. Do I need something? Need a
Is
second?
it seconded as amended yet?
I'll do that.
Okay. All right, so now we'll take a vote on voting for accepting the,
Before we vote, I just wanted to, if you don't mind, Mrs. Bo has been a teacher here for a lot of years, and wish her well in her retirement.
I was going to wait till after the vote, because if you didn't approve it, I wasn't going to recognize you.
We have that option.
Right?
She'll come after me if I...
Yeah, I would take her on.
34 years, she's earned her retirement.
Yeah.
okay, so we'll take the vote then on the consent agenda as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? That passes unanimously. Thank you.
So before we do move on, I just want to echo what Marcy just said through her recognition and thanks to Lori Bold for 34 years. Her children all went through our school system, and she's just been a huge advocate for children her entire career here, and we're certainly going to miss her, and she's looking forward to retirement, and we wish her nothing but the best. And then the other one was, as you can see by the name of Reverend Father Alexander Bittis, if you were fortunate enough to be at our National Honor Society, you saw Mr. Bittis as part of, Reverend Bittis as part of the ceremony. He is leaving to go to a religious school and instruct in his faith. So it's a wonderful opportunity for him. He loved his time in North Branford, but this was a calling. So
awesome.
we wish him nothing but the best.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, superintendent's report.
Okay, we have communications that are listed throughout. The buildings are obviously very busy with concerts and moving into the break, which starts tomorrow. If there's any questions for the administrators on their reports, now would be the time. If not, we'll move through. Athletic storage building, you obviously saw the list of donations. John Florio was scheduled to be here tonight. He called me about an hour ago. Unfortunately, there was a water line burst, and he's ripping sheetrock and repairing. If he can get here, he's going to try to get here. But there's really no updates other than the two things he's doing right now with the town is putting the lumber out to bid and waiting for Navis and Young to stake the area for wetlands before he goes forward. So that's the only really updates. We're going to wait. Obviously, we're not pouring concrete right now, and so it'll be a spring project. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that. And the town is doing the bidding. He just received, and this is not with this project, but with the other two projects, they took the bids from Jerome and the auditorium, and then wanted the board to select. And John said, "Well, you took the bids. You're going to pick the vendor to do the job because you bid the thing." So they're working on that. So we're hoping that the auditorium piece and Jerome with the chiller will be finalized, and that they'll move forward with those projects. So Martha has any questions on the storage?
The Jerome was the chiller. What was the other one, the NDIS?
The auditorium,
The auditorium.
HVAC. That was the HVAC system.
Okay.
And the danger with that system is that we rent that in the summertime, and it's quite a bit of monies that are generated, and you do not want the air conditioning to go out. And people have rented it for a dance recital, and they literally have hundreds and hundreds of people coming over a weekend. So that was something that was critical. As we get into the budget process with Martha, we'll talk more about the auditorium, because there's things, I have Tom Monsdale now looking at the lighting board, the sound board, things that are outdated. We're still using a floppy disk on our lighting board. You can't repair or replace those things, so he's going to do diligence and go out and get some pricing on things, and hopefully, as we go through this process, because the town is the one that collects the money, gets the money, sits on the money, we want to have good numbers for keeping that building up to date. Okay?
All right, Martha.
You have the financial report in front of you. Just a reminder that your year-to-date budget report that you have actually includes all of your expenditures to date and the encumbrances in the system to date. So if you remember, way over to the right-hand side is a percentage used column. And at the end of that report, it's showing 54.7% year-to-date of our budget has spent. So we're at the end of December, we're 6 months into the fiscal year, so we're pretty much right on target of where we need to be. As far as the objects that I point out every month, there's really no change. You'll see all of the explanations are very similar to what they were last month, so there's really nothing new to point out there. I apologize for not having the Family Resource Center and Food Service financials to you when I sent it out a few days back, but if you notice in your packet that I placed in front of you, those reports are there now. You want to take a look at the food service report. When you look at the year-to-date actual revenue and the year-to-date actual expenditures, we are still showing a profit for the month of $775, despite the fact that we actually served less meals than we did last month or the year before for the same period. And the reason being is with the number of field trips we've had for the month of November, or the less number of school days because of the Thanksgiving holiday and things like that, the number of meals or children participating.
The election day, that was
Exactly.
weekend. And
Right. So that's good news. And then as far as Family Resource Center, when you look at year-to-date actual to expenditures again, we're actually up 24,000 for the month, but again, I will caution you because parents pay tuition ahead of time, so this count really isn't as accurate as it could be. So, but all in all, things look very positive. I'm working on putting together the budget for 25-26, and we'll have that to you at the end of January.
So right now, the administrators are building their budgets with Martha, looking at, current staffing levels, enrollment, projections for expenditures in the buildings with heating, cooling, everything else. Initiatives, what would we look to bring on if we were limited to X, Y, or Z? What's the most important thing in the district right now collectively and in their buildings? So those conversations have begun, and they'll be continuing over the next several weeks.
Martha, I have a question for you. On the Munis reports,
Yes?
the second column, just remind me, what's that, the transfer and adjustments? What is that, what are we doing there?
The transfers and adjustments are the budget transfers that either you approve, or the ones that I bring to you,
Right?
or the ones that come through our system that are under the threshold, that are initiated by the building or department head, and then go through our approval path and then are approved.
How long does it take? So like would last month's line item transfers be captured here?
Yes.
Or would it be? Okay.
No, they're in there. The ones that you approved last month, they are in there. So what happens is you approve them that evening, the next day I come in, I input those
Do your deal.
entries into the system and post them.
Okay, cool. And then just from a visual standpoint, excuse me, is it possible, or is this, I may be asking for the sky here, is it possible to show these numbers where we were on the timestamp of last year in next to it? Is that going to make like the report massive, or is it two different pages? You know what I mean? Like, can you run them side by side, or is that just going to be an Excel, like,
I can
export
try
type deal?
and play around with it, but the robust reporting that I was promised with Munis is not there. So that's why when you get the proposed budget for 25, 26, you're going to see it's actually done on Excel because the reporting within Munis is awful.
Is it, I guess the logic or my idea behind it is, this is like a snapshot in time for me, or for, I guess, for all of us, maybe not. But for me, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, I'm looking at this number and I see a percentage used, whatever. Okay, that's good for today, right? I understand with the health of where we are today. But it's not really a comparative analysis going to be able to done here. It's kind of just, I can ask you questions, but like, hey, this percentage is being used or not used, whatever. And if there's any red flags, I should, you're going to call it out, I hope, like you do already.
Right.
But for my own idea, like where we are from this point last year to this point today, that's where it kind of like, is that something you could put together, or am I asking for the impossible?
I would probably have to put it together manually in Excel, but because things change from year to year, it's hard to compare apples to apples. There might be a different number of teachers in a school because of the sections of the grade.
Are you looking for like a trend line?
Yeah.
What specifically are you looking for?
Well, that's what it is. It's just comparative analysis. Like right now, I don't know what I do with this document, other than just look at the numbers.
So you want to see what the trend has been over the year before?
Right.
Or,
Like, and then so essentially it would create a conversation as to, hey, this one's showing, this one to me looks like a red flag, or this one is, hey, we're doing fine. I mean, I don't know, what do you do with this document?
Well, I look to see where our money is for the amount of money that we were given this year. This is where our money is.
Right.
You're really only looking at this fiscal year.
Right.
Because salaries change, staffing numbers change, programs change.
Sure. Workers' comp changes.
Yeah.
And like, you've broken things down even more, like category-wise.
Right.
The categories might not line up with last year's.
Like, this is an important document for me.
Right.
Because this gives me the who, what, when, or why as to what the change is. So if I'm not asking, it's really not.
Is there something that you would like me to explain in more detail?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, like not specifically.
No, I don't think so. I think,
Rather than,
I mean, I think you're calling out the highs and the lows in this first document. But just for, like, when I get this the day before or whatever it is, I kind of I'd like to go deeper into it, but I kind of get stuck because I'm looking at it just a snapshot in one
Like from month to month, to compare
Or
November of last year to November of this year.
Just not last year, just where we were maybe last year, or maybe if you want, I don't know, maybe a month. I'm just wondering if there's another way to look at it from a different lens that other than this.
Well, month to month, you would have this from last year, or from last month too.
Right.
So you'd be able
But
to
it'd
do
be just
that.
nice to look at trend line. What are the drivers of our budget? What line items here are?
the drivers of your budget honestly don't change. I mean, it's salary, it's
Salary and
benefits, those are, it's utilities, those are the transportation, those are the big
If we
pieces.
could look at the year-to-year increase, so that it went up 3%, now it's 5%, then it's 7%. We'd like to just see, I mean, at least for me, I'd like to see, I have to present the budget to the council. So for me, I'd like to say, this line has, really spiked due to A, B, and C, and defend our budget. Can I?
When we build the budget.
Through our budget discussions and our workshops, we have those conversations.
Very good.
Is it possible that you could just try it for next month, just as, if it's not, on Excel, if you can
Next month,
export?
probably not, honestly, because I'll be putting
Budget
together
season.
the 20...
Next budget.
Yeah, the next budget, and it's close as far as,
Just,
it's
I'd like
time
to try it at some point. Or just email me, to email it, we don't, whatever, I'm just curious.
Zach, I wonder if what would be more helpful for you would be the percentage used by month. So because salaries are different every year, or numbers are different, perhaps if you knew in January or December we were at 50% here last year, this year we're at 70%. Maybe something like that would be able to give you what you were looking for without a number that's going to be skewed.
Because it is a moving target. When you
Right.
look at snow days to date versus workers' compensation to date versus the move last year with the high school and overtime for custodians to date, when we had to. So there's so many things that have played into
people out on leave.
right now.
So, I mean, listen, I work for a for-profit company, right? I mean, I do this every week with these. We have numbers, we look at numbers, what we were from last year, from this year, and maybe the year before.
Right, I
Typically, it's
understand
just
that,
2
like
years.
with sales and things, but honestly,
We can have big categories and show you the big categories that you're looking at.
So I think that's
Comparatively.
kind of what might be a happy medium, and for your point of the budget, we have to present it and give a reason. So I don't know if necessarily month to month compared to last year, but if we can look at a trend of like insurance and see where the increase is from, we knew this year we're paying this, now this is what like we're looking at for premiums or stuff like that.
Big things.
Right, like our bus contracts, looking from the past 5 years, obviously it hasn't decreased. Where's that trend going? Because we know for our budget, it's going to keep increasing. So maybe something more like that might be a happy medium.
Well, yes, for me.
I mean, because you're
That's,
looking
I'm kind of
at
going from your perspective, but also.
Let's don't we like
personal
borrow
benefits,
too?
cost of fuel,
Yeah.
things like that. We have big, we can look at
We do
those.
line items too, so like, if we're showing we're using 50% of something, it doesn't mean it will end up with that, like,
well,
it's a
no,
moving
because
target.
there might be things in there that are not yet encumbered, such as salaries. But that's because we're working on a separate financial system for our payroll right now. So that's why you don't see any encumbrances, but hopefully within the next year or 6 months even, we should begin the implementation over to Munis for payroll.
So Martha,
But as we build the budget, we can take this, because we know we're going into it, and we can start this practice. And then you can take a look at it and say, okay, is this what you were looking for? Based upon everything that builds into our budget, where we were last year, what we asked for, what our expenditures were compared to right now, moving forward.
But part of the budget process last year, we did include a whole section on budget drivers.
Right.
Sure did.
So, I mean, we did go through that.
I wasn't
with
here,
you.
so.
No, I know.
No, we'll do the
Just
same,
saying.
but it'll
Yeah.
start the conversation to see if
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think that's the best.
Because we know we will know the increase, percentage increase for insurance, that's cut and
Well,
dry.
we estimate now,
Right, and
and then we were told in April, May.
Right, exactly.
So,
So we'll know the definitive numbers. We know how much payroll is going to go up.
to a point,
Right.
Yeah, for all the parts.
yeah.
Okay, I have another question regarding the report, the late run bus. So I know we have to set in the description that you're going to look for that, to pay for that.
Correct.
When do you need to pay that by?
With DATCO, we have till the end of the year.
Oh, so you
They
did it.
floated
Well,
that.
the funds are encumbered, so it's set aside. I just have to find where I can take it from.
Okay.
Right.
And that doesn't have to get paid until the end of the school
End of the
year?
year.
We pay?
Well, no, we pay it monthly.
Okay.
We haven't gotten an invoice yet
Okay.
from them, but it is encumbered. But like field trips or athletic transportation, runs, when those things happen, they bill us that month. And then the respective person approves those, and then we pay the invoice. So once we get an invoice, we pay it. It's just you're not seeing where the money's coming from, because
Exactly.
quite honestly, I don't know yet.
Okay.
So I have to
And
really,
it may be for multiple,
exactly.
Yeah.
I have to look at it and figure that out.
okay. And when there's a minus in that column, the transfer and adjustment column, that means money's been moved out?
Yes.
To another?
So money has been taken out, and if you see a positive,
It's-
money's gone in.
Okay. I mean, it's just hard to know when you see all those numbers in that column, where it came from, where it went,
Right.
and that given time. I'm going to ask if you're able to provide the printed report in our packet. I've asked it before because it's easier to follow it on paper than on your computer screen where it's, it's not horizontal, it's vertical. And it's not until we get the printed portion of it it's just much easier to follow. Is there any way you can provide it instead of the 24 hours before our meeting on the Friday that the packets get mailed out? Can you have a printed version in that
The numbers won't be just as up to date, that's all.
I think we can, I think, you know, for a few days,
Yeah.
we realize
Yeah.
it's not going to be up to them
Yeah.
24 hours before our meeting, but it just gives us a little bit more time to look at it and ingest it and understand it. So I'm going to ask that again. You can provide that. when
No,
we-
don't, you always can come in and meet with Martha too. Anytime her door is open, please reach out if you have a burning question about the budget, the process, anything, her door is always open. Please come in and sit down and ask as many questions. I know she'll accommodate you.
It's,
She's
yeah, it's a
there.
lot easier sitting
Then-
across the
right.
table,
Then-
you know,
right.
when I can sit with you and spend the time and explain and,
Right.
so absolutely.
Because you know how many line items there are in
Well,
this,
that
in the
was-
budget, total.
How many,
So now,
these line items that are here,
right.
are those all the line items in the budget? These,
So those are all totaled by object, what you see.
Yep.
So for certified salaries, all of our certified salary lines add up to what you see here. And all the activity, those are all the totals for that. If I were to print the full report, it's about 52 pages.
okay.
So I don't think you want 52 pages.
No, I was just give you.
Not with the green tree
No.
rule. I don't want to print 50 electronic.
May I piggyback on Zach's question, please, because I was coming with that same question about the transfer and adjustment column. I guessed before I've never looked at that column, and today I was looking to see the transfers that we approved last time, and I heard you say tonight, which explains my question, that there are some transfers that are made that are under the threshold. Is it a certain monetary amount that you can transfer without coming to us? Is that how it
So
works?
I personally, in my own practice, it's not in your policy, but my own practice is I don't make any transfer personally until I bring it to you.
Okay.
Your board policy says anything under $20,000, the building principals or department heads can request transfer. It goes through our approval process and then it's posted within the system.
Okay, because there were some places where the numbers didn't like match from what we transferred.
yeah,
So
because-
I will get in touch with you and we can chat so I don't keep the meeting going too long
Absolutely.
tonight. Thanks.
Good question.
Okay, is everyone?
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Anything else, Martha? You good?
For me, no.
All right, you had requested Ms. Prunier to be here from Food Service, so she has about a 75-minute presentation, so we're gonna, if you need to use the restroom now, please do. And Christina, please come up to the white table here.
Turn this back.
It is a PowerPoint, so we're gonna turn the lights, and if you want to... Yeah, yeah. I wasn't kidding. Have you done your shopping? Did you do your shopping yet, Margie? Because if not, you might not have a chance. All right. We gotta get there. All right, obviously this is Christina Prunier, who became our food service director. Now, how long has it been now?
8 years.
How many?
8 years here.
8 years in the district,
Tak, yes.
total.
Yeah.
But as director,
As director, 15 years.
total.
Total.
How many in North
Not
Branford?
here.
In North Branford. She was a food service director at another community before, has been with us for 8 years.
Food service director in Wethersfield, East Lyme, Ledyard. I will open the school because I was working for management company. And ACES for 5 years.
ACES, yeah.
Then Hendon, and I end up here.
All right. So Christina, if you want to walk them through the breakfast that's at the high school only, what trends you've seen, what you're serving, what the cost is for the meals, lunch meals, and explain the two numbers there.
I mean, breakfast we just trying in high school this year because we have a big push from the state. And we just try only high school, which I'm not, put it this way, not too happy with the participation. I was expecting a little bit more kids only. It's very tricky, the breakfast, because It's only 2 grain, cup of fruit, and for the kids, it's, I think, not enough, because high school kids are expecting a little bit bigger breakfast. And we're trying different stuff. We'll see what's gonna happen, just a try. Elementary school, I don't know what's gonna happen there, because I think it's the timing and buses.
Right. The middle school was tough because we had a kiosk and it was kind of a grab and go, but the kids are held outside the building to a certain time before they're able to come in with supervision, and it really wasn't enough time, and a lot of the kids were having breakfast before they came, or bringing, a snack bar, eating at home, so we really didn't have any success at the middle school age group. The high school, we thought we might get, because the older kids are on the go, and if we had something that they, so we're still toying with that. It has to at least break even. If you have staff coming in and you're running your facility and doing everything, you have to at least break even with doing that, or you're going backwards.
So we don't do like bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich?
Yes, every single day. Yep. Only
fruit and drink.
Only that is the trick. We're not allowed to claim for the reimbursement every day.
Right.
Sausage, egg, and cheese, or bacon, egg, and cheese. Only twice a week.
Okay.
And that's the
And what do we
issue.
get for a bacon, egg, and cheese?
It's the protein.
What do we want?
The cost.
Bacon, egg, and cheese, it's 75 cents altogether.
A bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel is 75
Yeah,
cents.
but we're charging $2.50, and reimbursement is $2.35.
Charge to, it costs 75. So go and get a bacon, egg, and cheese anywhere. You're going to pay $7 to $8, $6, $7, $8. So it's very reasonable. But again, we have to do enough of them.
Carbs too.
Can I ask what your hope for lunch participation is? Is 54% good? Would you like it higher, lower?
Well, I would love to see higher, but I think it's the struggle parents for the money too.
Yeah.
And that's what we see those days. I mean, it's a little bit higher this year than versus last year.
Right.
We have more kids eating, especially high school.
How much is lunch?
High school, $3.75.
And they do get healthy portions for $3.75. We have
Well, like you can't
We
get
have
lunch for
two,
$3.75 elsewhere, right?
2 men in the serving line, and I'll just stop them there. When they see
Right.
kids come through, they don't short them on anything. They get a fair serving for their price. They know.
Well, that's like $20 a week per kid. You know what I mean? Which sometimes is hard for people when you think about it. $3.75. Where can they go eat lunch for $3.75?
Can you make it for that?
Well,
Right.
when
Maybe
you-
they can for that. Right.
When you walk in with a $5 latte from Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, I mean, it puts it in perspective.
Want versus need.
Exactly. Right.
Actually, we are proud we applied for the grant, which we received the grant for Jerome. We're gonna have a new combi oven. It's coming next week. And we're gonna have new serving line in Pawtucket because that was very old. And in the future, I would like to see in a Jerome too for those little babies. If anything gonna be available like a grant, we're gonna apply. But this year we were lucky because we in the district, we are low participation with free and reduced, and they never open for the public, for district like us to apply for the grant. But we got lucky.
Thank you.
What is our percentage for free and reduced?
I mean, free and reduced, small, 10%. And this is middle school, pizza every day. Then we try to put a deli next to a pre-made sandwiches and wraps.
New Haven style pizza.
And that's high school. We have an old deli section, 2 people working every day. And on the other side, we're making pre-made sandwiches and everything go to cooler, just like in the pictures.
Wait a
This is
minute,
pizza
can I ask a question? So So that's 375 right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any one of these options roughly is what I'm...
Yes,
I
comes
feel like
with
that's
fruit,
kind of
milk,
a deal, right?
vegetable.
Am I the only one nodding my head there?
No one walks away hungry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's that, sir?
No one walks away hungry.
Well, that's what I mean.
And when I say the 2 males that work the serving line, that you're happy when you walk through the line, which is what we want.
Yeah.
We offer
So
soup every day.
there's the pizza oven, they have that, at the high school, you can see the soup in the center there. They do a quick grab, they always do something different there. The serving line is to the right, they'll do stir fries, they'll do everything right in front of you. And the pizza, you have plenty of options each day. You can have salad through the salad bar if you want a salad, or chef salad, whatever you want. So there's plenty of options.
It still looks brand new.
Yeah.
It looks so nice.
I hope so. The menu's listed for the week and the month. The kids know, what their options are well in advance, and it's posted throughout the buildings on all of the electronic TV monitors.
Very nice. Thank you
I mean,
so
we
much.
are proud of what we're doing. I mean, it's not a pride.
No, we appreciate the effort.
Christina's on the line every day in different buildings. She doesn't sit in central office unless she's doing her paperwork, but she's visible, she's hands-on. And we wanted her, just one, to introduce you to her, but then give you a chance to ask any questions that you may have about, the future. We've talked about doing things out of the new high school for the community, using our new culinary room with the kitchen and having opportunities for the kids to come in and prepare and have families come in and watch a movie and have pizza, or anything we can do to get people in to get them more comfortable and have, our National Honor Society or Student Council interact and be a part of it, through food service, and try to really, take advantage of what we have, what we built.
Yeah, and share that with the parents and community
Sure.
who are supporting it.
Right. Any questions for Christine?
I just have, okay.
How's it been with collecting the payments?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yes.
Listen, it's a challenge. We try to be very diplomatic. We always are. There's a number of steps that we take through letters, emails, phone calls. We involve as few people as we can to keep the confidentiality. And it's something that we're working on. We never say no. We're never going to turn a student away from eating. And we'll find a way at the end of the year, if we do have balances, to correct it. But it is what it is, and that's something that I speak with Christina about, I speak with Martha about. And I hear them and I understand, but we always find a way at the end of the year to work through it. And that's as diplomatic as I can be with my response. We're never going to turn away any child. We work hard to communicate and to let the parents know that, we are a business, we are, and we understand, so here's a plan, can you do this, this, and this, and we'll work with you, so.
I had a question regarding extras or goodies. In any of our schools, are we selling ice cream or cookies or things of that nature that may
Yes.
fall outside
They
of our
fall, I'm going to speak.
nutrition policy?
You can jump in.
Well, it's a high school, middle school, and we just start to talk it.
One day a week we do a cookie, an oatmeal raisin.
What day?
Chocolate.
What is it?
Thursday.
I'll send my money in.
Chocolate.
It's a 25-cent cookie.
So one day a week,
One
we
day.
have that at each of
And
the
it meets
schools?
all health standard codes.
Only one day a week it's to talk it,
Okay, and the others are every day?
every day.
So
Okay.
my health committee, they're sitting out in the audience, and I know that
Well, I'm asking for that reason
Here.
because, we have policy obviously for a
No,
reason.
but it has to meet
I-
the standard.
I love a good cookie, so I'm just curious if...
Judy, one day a week, Thursdays.
I'll be there. One of the schools, I'll find it.
Where can you buy a
Yeah.
delicious
You can,
oatmeal
you
cookie
can.
for 25 cents?
And my other question was the same, I think Marcy asked. I'm curious to know the percentage of our free and reduced, which you don't have tonight, but maybe we could find that out.
We'll get an exact number.
Yeah, thanks. Because it just
Because I
seems
think
like
it's a little
these
higher than
numbers I'm
10%.
looking at of lunches that have been given, just a higher number than I anticipated seeing. So I'm just
I
curious
think
what
we're
that
higher,
percentage is.
but we'll get an exact number.
Thank you.
That's an easy.
Thank you so much.
Are our kitchens nut free?
Kitchen what?
Are the kitchens peanut free?
Yes.
I would have asked that already. My son has a peanut allergy, that's why I was
They really are good about that with peanut-free areas to eat and identify them. Our students are really sensitive to that too. It's not like that, because they understand. And they're
Well,
really
actually, we have a sun bottle.
Yeah,
That's it.
thank you.
Anything else for Christine?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice holiday. Have a nice holiday, Christina.
Tomorrow I'm gonna take a day off.
No. Thanks, Christina.
Christmas.
You as well.
And this is my cookies from our kitchen.
See? Tell me if they're worth 25 cents. Pass them around. Leave a quarter. Leave a quarter on the table. Okay.
That was nice, that's sweet.
Indoor air quality. John is not here. The pipe, come on, John, fix the pipe. But Tom's here. Tom, do you want to update indoor air quality? Tom has about a 50-minute presentation on...
55.
55? I said cut it to 50 minutes.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to do my best John Florio with this. So for the past several years, there was a statutory requirement in place that asked us to do the tools for schools, IAQ checklists within schools. Nothing has changed in regards to the fact that we are still doing these checklists. What is different is due to the Transparency Act, which you see listed within the meeting minutes, we are now required two things. One, before December 31st of each year, a representative must come to the board and tell you that we have completed those checklists as required, and that we are going to post them publicly on our website and submit them to the state. We must do this annually now before December 31st of every year. So with this on the agenda, we are informing you that we have completed the checklist as required. Tomorrow, we will submit them to the state. We will post them on the website, both for the district and for every single school, therefore meeting the requirement of the law. That's really it.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any
So
questions?
Tom has also developed a platform through the iPad where they can just walk through and do a simple check, punch, 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 makes it, expedites everything, it's more efficient, then you can send the reports off. So he's working through that now. And
Unfortunately, we did that, and then the state has rolled us back and gone back to paper. So we were not able to do that this year.
So
went
there
back
you go again.
went back to paper checklist for this year at the last minute. So we are back to paper, which we will then scan and upload to the state, because that is all they could handle for this year. But maybe next year we'll get digital.
And you'll wonder why.
Air quality?
There were no major things noted, and they'll be displayed publicly. The most largest concern that was noted within any of the spreadsheets was just the inconsistent temperature within the auditorium. We know that's because of the aging/failing HVAC system. Hopefully that will be remedied soon, and that will no longer be a concern. Okay.
Perfect timing.
Thank you, guys.
Spoke about this.
52 minutes, right?
Felt like two.
All right, no pending request, town manager, renovation project. I'm just going to go through some quick highlights that, what's going on. We're obviously into phase 2 and working out the kinks. We had 175 open items, and we're now down to 100 open items. However, over the holiday break, they're going to tackle many of those issues, which is great timing. The landscaping change orders at the backside of the school, the decorative stone and some of the lawn areas behind the school was mentioned in my update last month. This is from Gilbane. Next week, 12/23, they're looking to do quite a bit with drainage modifications and a gravel trench behind the amphitheater, which is along the little stream there. We've had some washout on the backside of the hill area behind the gymnasium. They were out there trying to correct that now, and it's really not surprising because the pitch of that hill, the amount of rain that we got, it was going to come down. There's literally 1,000 or 1,100 plants there in the ground. But once that lets go and starts coming down, it's a mini avalanche, and you'll see in 2 spots. So they're charged with correcting that. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's on them. So I'll keep you up to speed. The handrail in the gym lobby, as you recall, we had an incident, and at the next January 7th, 6th, 6th meeting, they're going to present a change order for approval and correct that rail. We have a police tape and cones there now, so the students stay away from that area. Or, I shouldn't say that area, stay away from the drop-off from the stairs.
Yeah.
So those are the three big things. They're getting to know the building. It's like anything else, you find out things as you go along, and everyone's working through it. I was in the Teckett area, in the wood shop 2 or 3 days ago, and a lot of things have been updated and upgraded since. Culinary is up to speed. The washing machine wasn't working, and they were in there. That's all fixed and going. We're waiting on 3 TVs in there, 3 monitors for teaching stations. So we're really getting down to the nitty gritty. We have a leak in the library. They're on that. They're monitoring it, and it's finding where it's coming in. That's the hardest part. So they're tracking that. I think our glass updates are current with what they wanted to do. So if I missed anything, I'll let Zach and Beth speak to it.
Yeah, the concessions bathroom is squared away. That was one of the items on the agenda. There was a minor fix, a tweak on, I think it was like a fuse or something like that to the effect that was causing some sort of issue. So I think you covered most of it.
Yeah.
Was those the ones that were had been closed?
That's right.
Okay, so they're open? Or
Well, they're closed for now for the year, but
for the
for
year,
the season.
but they will be operational.
Yeah.
So we don't need to rent the porta potties?
I would be hesitant to say yes or no.
We're still going to have porta potties. You have a 1-inch water line going to the concession stand. If I was to have 500 people come to your house and line up and say, we're going to continually flush, you're going to have problems. So what the porta potties do is they offset and they take a lot of that, no pun intended, overflow from that. There's only one single bathroom for the males and for the females. So
Now, about 4 or 5 years ago, they updated the toilets to make them more water, like pressure,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
right.
Without using as much water.
Flow valve.
It's like
the flow valve in the tank in a separate tank, but it's not enough through this. Now, Fran Marola has an idea that he wants to go under the bleachers as part of a capital project and put 2 mini rooms at the end with bathrooms below the bleachers and be done with all of that and do it the right way. So that's what he's talking about right now. But I'll let him bring that forward. I don't want to steal his thunder.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's just like he said, it's an offset. So we actually have them, they're usable now, or next season.
Yep. Okay. Committee reports?
Did we add I to that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did add.
Oh, we got I.
Before we go to committee,
Yeah.
I want to
We added
I want to recognize Megan Lee, who was a finalist for the assistant principal of the year, went through an amazing process, did an incredible job, and it was such an honor to have the administrators and teachers and students speak on her behalf. So a shout out to Megan. Now committee reports.
No,
We got one more.
No, we added
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
temporary fitness center.
That's right. I didn't have it written down because it wasn't on there.
Well, we made a motion to add it.
Yeah, right. And it came in after, so I didn't have it in my
Oh, okay.
in my book.
All right.
I don't think any of that. If you did, then no,
No.
because it came in after.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have it in your book.
So what do you want to tell us about this temporary fitness center?
It's temporary. So we moved out in December 1. We moved into our new weight room. So the good news is that the kids are on the second floor in a fully functioning room. They do not have music or TV right now because of a part that was on the change that was red thread. So they're correcting the music system in there now, and then Mr. Lonsdale is working on the audiovisual aspect for that. So the kids are totally in there. They've been in there since December 1. So our rent stopped on December 1. That's good. I have the invoices for the last 2 gas electric bills from the warehouse, and that's it for payment. So our rent is done, it has been done. The only thing we're carrying over is the renting of one office in that building for all of our uniforms, out-of-season uniforms, and equipment not being used, because it's temperature controlled until we get the other building finished. Once we get that done, which we hope in the spring, that will conclude, and then we'll move everything out of there.
So there's no office space, no room that we could put those uniforms
We
in?
really don't have any space. If I was to show you, it's a new high school that's, you think you're getting on. The one thing that every building we go into is storage, like off of the weight room. Mr. Stuffler, you've been, or Mr. Lonsdale's been in there where the stereo system is. There's 72 boxes in there with javelins, and you can get really, we don't have the storage right now. So I don't want to, I still have big items in those two crates I have. I don't want to put uniforms in there. They're too expensive, and I'd rather keep them safe for a few more months, and then, we'll have a better option. So that's it. That's the only thing we have. And that was minus the warehouse, just that one office space.
What does that cost?
$800 a month.
800?
$800.
For one office room?
For the office space. And that's per square
How big is
footage.
the office?
I mean, it's good size. It's probably this whole area here. From that wall, open, it's jam-packed with
300 square feet maybe?
Yeah, it's jam-packed with,
Safe to say, we didn't spend $140,000 to lease it for 3 more years.
somebody else did. I don't know. I didn't.
And where's the 800 a month coming from? Is there a line item for it, or
It's the same line when we
for the temporary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there an object number? Do you know the object number?
For 43, hang on, I can tell you.
And how much do you pay to rent those things outside to store stuff in?
Martha, how much do
It's
you
about
have?
$8,000 a year.
8,000?
It is 443.
It is, okay.
Right, 8,000 a piece?
Is there 6 out there? Is that what it is?
There's only 2 now.
2, okay, 2, okay.
And how much I'm sorry, how much were those?
How much did they
The
do?
storage container?
Yes.
It's $8,000 a year.
Each year.
Or
No,
more
for
altogether?
the whole line item.
So anyone that I got rid of will offset this cost.
Right,
And then,
Unless you want me to put them back out there,
no.
then you're going to buy new uniforms. And let me tell you, one set
it's
of
going to cost
team
more than
uniforms
$800.
is thousands.
Right,
So
right.
the money from the storage tins is paying for air conditioning, temperature control, indoor, locked, double locked space. So that's,
It's actually under 440 rentals.
Okay. The containers.
Yes,
Okay.
the
And then-
container and the temporary.
Temporary office space.
Oh, and the temporary.
Yes.
Okay, 440.
and
So
what
that's
about
we needed a few more months until,
well, let's just, I've got to get through the building of the temporary.
so that's where it's going to, the idea.
Yeah, all that's going in there. It's going to be climate controlled. Every team will have their space. It'll be locked and safe, and that way we don't drag things in and out, and, so yeah, that's where all of that, that's where we're building.
I think that would be better too, it's closer.
Oh, it's right next to the
Yeah, it's right next to it,
Right.
over there and drop off.
They'll have cages in there where they can padlock the uniforms inside of a locked area, so there'll be double security on it, we'll have cameras. So,
And then any of the gym equipment, I mean, are we kind of writing that off, or what's your
no,
plan for that?
it's sitting there rent-free.
I mean, we're not bringing it over to the high school, right? We're squared away there, right?
Some is going over very, very little. When I purchased that 15 years ago, I bought it used on a grant and on a donation. We had a teacher, Rick Jeremiah, who won a contest as a Jets fan. He donated $10,000. And we purchased 90% of that. The rest of it was donated through the Touchdown Club. I moved it twice. I disassembled it twice. And anytime you're moving weight equipment like that, that's 30 years old, you got to be really cautious. I'm also working with a neighboring community that's looking to build a weight room, possibly. And I might, in good faith, do some work with them and help them out. And we'll have a conversation, when we get to that point. But right now, it's zero zero rent to store the equipment there. It's good. The landlord has been amazing. He's also a donor to our building project. And again, has said, anything you need, let me know.
That's good.
So we're in good shape.
I like it.
I heard that the police department might be looking for some equipment.
No, see, they purchased their equipment.
They got their own gym.
They went through a vendor, and they did their weight room over.
Okay.
And in this police station, they have their own weight room.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they have access if they want to use the warehouse. They have access to it.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Everyone's all set there? Okay. Committee reports. Negotiations, there's none. Budget and operations, no meeting. Curriculum and instruction. Was there one for November? Curriculum and instruction.
Yep.
We just had it tonight.
Yeah, we talked about the 4 or 5 major topics. I'll hit the wave tops here. We talked about AP courses being added for the freshman and sophomore. Social studies courses, if I'm not mistaken. Historically, this goes to the juniors and seniors. Also some AP courses in language arts. Spot check, is that right? Yes, okay.
It's sophomore year.
Sophomore year, that's right. Culinary arts department is changing some courses and curriculum to update, to kind of fall in step or in line with maybe what collegiate courses might be named or current trends, things like that. We have a new teacher for that, right? So they're gonna.
She's excellent.
Right. So hopefully she can keep that going. That facility over there is top-notch, state-of-the-art stuff. So
I have some pictures.
yeah, it's like
Spectacular.
it's amazing.
When we met for,
We need to have a cook-off.
for Miss Lee's interviews.
Bring it. Let's go.
We
Yeah.
met for Miss Lee's interviews, the culinary class made snacks for everybody. They had a table set up and they made snacks and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If I can find them.
There's also that new course in the Holocaust.
Yep, they got the Holocaust course, that's being presented as an elective, and it's going to talk about media outlets and how they might, and different channels that are being used to kind of capture that experience. And what else? I think. Oh yeah, you want? All right. You want to talk? Go ahead, cover that one. Okay, great. State legislature has a mandate that's new training for 3 sections. It's going to be social emotional learning, restorative practices, and school climate and interventions. And our good friend, Mr. Carter Welch, is going to head that one up. So I think that's a fortune cookie answer for that.
Good job. Spinning off of your, AP conversation, if you look at our course selection guide for the high school and the number of college courses, the UConn, the training of the teachers, and then the AP courses that are offered not only in the core areas, but in music and in other areas, it's phenomenal. For a high school of fewer than 500 students, put it against any surrounding area, with the ratio of our population compared and our staffing size and what we're able to offer our kids, it's exceptional.
Yeah,
And then
they can do their whole freshman year.
But they're a recognized AP school. They make the honor roll consistently because of how our kids score on the AP test. It's a lot to be proud of. So, thank you.
Great. Pension? No, is there a meeting?
There was a meeting, it was rescheduled and conflicted with concerts, so.
Good decision. You had a better time at the concert.
I think the concert too.
We took the concert over time.
Then policy?
There are 2 policies for a first read. P1120, student discipline, and P1170, suicide prevention and intervention. There's just some new language regulations. Some of it was just rewritten for the format. We're trying to format all policies the same. Cleaning up some of the language, definitions, things like that. It's a first read.
I have just a little concern. I did go to the policy meeting this month with you, but there's a lot of, and we don't go over everything when in our meeting with the attorney, but there's a lot of reference to use of AI with the students. You know, you can't bully, but you also can't use AI to bully. You can't cheat or commit plagiarism, and you can't use AI to do it either. So, but we didn't approve AI for student use, so it's in there, but, so I'm a little, it's like, why would that be in there if there should be no AI use? There was a
Tom, speak to that because you...
yes, absolutely.
So when I initially read it, I also had that concern. I think there's no conflict between our current acceptable use policy, which states that there should be no artificial intelligence use with students. This is purely stating things students could be disciplined for if they use AI inappropriately, which we're saying we're not going to use AI with students at all, but they still could go home, use AI in an inappropriate manner for plagiarism, for example, and then we'd need something within our student conduct policy to refer to and say, you used AI specifically to do plagiarism, therefore you're being punished under a student conduct policy for this. So there's no conflict between the acceptable use policies we just approved and this updated student conduct policy.
Because there was something about completing an assignment, like if they used it unauthorized.
Correct.
To complete an assignment.
Which any use on our school grounds would be unauthorized, but this is also covering us if they go home and use it on their own personal computer to complete an assignment. This kind of covers that base as well, because we don't really have jurisdiction over their own personal devices at their home.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
That makes sense, thank you.
Yeah, any other questions, concerns?
Okay, thank you.
Just kind of off on the news, a school in Arizona, I don't know the town, has gone AI for a whole school for doing remote
Good luck.
That will get John.
I didn't get the whole thing, I was like, oh,
Wow.
more to come probably.
Well, these kids in our school system right now are going to be faced with AI in their careers, and
Right.
it's really something, we're not going to be able to stop it. It's
No, we
something that-
control what we can control.
Yeah.
And we wrap ourselves in policy that's supporting what our intentions are and with the legal guidance of why we hire them.
Yeah.
And then we manipulate these how we want to for our district. Then that's the healthy part of doing it the way we do it. They're not canned, they're prescribed based on your input and what the board thinks is in the best interest.
Okay. All right, so if you have any questions with the policies, if you're looking at them again, we did have Judy and I met with Carter and Sarah and further explained the policies. I said this, I think, at the last meeting, so if anyone does have any issues, that's the route to go to speak to someone with the questions that we didn't get answered today. Is that correct, Carter? You'd be willing to, or can you answer? Okay, great, thank you. ACES, okay, Kim weren't able. I was unable to attend personally, but I logged on. And for about 5 minutes, the sound was great. And then it just went like, it sounded like a switchboard operator with 6 or 7 voices going on at once. Probably have to reach out to them and say that we really are having difficulty accessing the meeting remotely.
That's why we stay away from telephonic meetings, because this is what happens.
They did purchase, what I did get was they purchased the Chase School in Waterbury.
And I'm sure our rates will be going up next year to stay a member, so
Big,
that's the
big
number I'm
project.
interested in.
Big
Yeah.
project.
They're-
$84 million.
Yeah, they're massive with
Yeah.
what they control.
Building committee?
I think we're squared away. Cover that in his
Yep,
reports.
okay. And communication, there was no meeting. We go to new business. Any new business? No. And visitors? Press, we had our visitor, Christina. And go to the board. Yes.
I just want to say it was really nice to see, I saw Jerome, Totucket, the middle school and high school all perform either chorus or band or a combo of all. It's really amazing to see the progression from like these second graders up there to these high schoolers that like kill it with their voices. Like it's amazing, and I give so much credit to these music and band teachers who can make that happen, who like hand them these instruments and they're like a band now. It's incredible, and I really appreciate the hard work that the schools put into it.
And if you ever really want to go stand in a room starting at Tutucket with a room full of
recorders,
horns. And then go to the middle school.
All playing hot cross
and
buns.
then get to the high school. Wow.
It's incredible to see the progression.
It's amazing what they're doing.
And they put in a lot of hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say that this meeting, I'm on the board for a year, and my statement is, my statement is both a statement of appreciation and an apology. My learning style is questioning. Some of you know that. So I'd like to just take a minute to thank Superintendent Schoonmaker and Mrs. Vaughn and everyone on the administrative team who has received an email from me on occasion or a meeting with me to just let you know how much I appreciate your time in always answering and helping me try to learn and become the better board member that I can be. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
That's why I put the pen on you.
Oh, thanks, Tom. I will cherish it.
It's the 1-year anniversary. Thank you.
Of course, I'm not done. I'm still learning. So give you that warning.
Lifelong learner. The next regular, is there anyone else? I didn't want to cut anyone short. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January 23rd, 2025.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Happy Hanukkah.
I do it all. I do
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.